head into 2025, one should be certain that there is no God. God in the sense of no God of intelligence. No God to tell you what is real and what is fake, what is real and what is artificial. But more importantly, is everything that is artificial fake? In times of war, there's a lot of fake news which is circulated by governments, by the armed forces, for the morale of the citizens, for the morale of the forces, with the general idea that it's for the greater good to end war. And when you end war, you end human suffering. You end the loss of family members. So that disinformation is done with a good intention. So by and large, that fake news is good, one would assume, because the end result is good. So there is no God to tell us that this was right and that was wrong, that this is in that gray area. So there's a lot of gray area when it comes to disinformation and misinformation and fake news. Big tech platforms can sift out, but free speech is important. So here they fall between the cracks. They're not sure. It's going to get easier to reduce fake information on these big tech platforms, but it has to be matched with how quick they are in bringing out these tools. Let me just take the case in point in 2024. I'm presuming that all of you watch news or consume news in some manner. So you would have heard that 5 lakh additional votes were counted in the Maharashtra Assembly elections. Just 2024 I'm doing, and that was the second half of 2024. You would have heard this, it was fake news. But by the time it got corrected, it took time. But with the use of AI tools, it went quickly on all the tech platforms and it got shared. So जो correction हुआ वो बहुत देर से हुआ. We go to say foreign tourists are avoiding Goa. The number of visitors was 8.5 million in 2019 and just 1.5 million in 2023. Again, fake news. It was some website in supposedly in China which put out this information and got the circulated in Indian websites. No truth to it, fake news. But jitna marzi Goa tourism would try to say that this is fake news, this is not real, there are RDAs coming in by the million, nobody wanted to believe that. Because fake news travels faster than correction of fake news. Then there was this one about Home Minister Amit Shah and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval have been put on the Interpol list and they're not allowed to travel anywhere. This was also fake news. But usko correct kaun karega? By the time, and no, this kind of fake news is spread through AI at around 11 at night, India times. By the time government of India and the others wake up and get their act together, it's already 7 to 8 hours, 7 to 8 crucial hours when this fake information has just traveled like fire around the globe. And who wakes up first? East Asia wakes up first. So they put it out that, oh, okay, Indian sites or Indian social media users are saying this. That gets picked up by Indian media as soon as Indian media wakes up. That gets picked up by Western media. So by the time India reacts, it's already late. It's already gone on fire. So how many people would actually go into, say, Google, which is also AI in some manner, to check ye sahi hai ki galat hai? As soon as you get it, you have a confirmation bias. Many people have. I think all of us have confirmation bias. So those who want to believe that nobody is going to go up will forward it. Those who want to believe that the Home Minister and the NSA are on the Interpol list will forward it without thinking twice. Some might even say, oh, horrific, if true. Ye bhi karenge. But forward it. Jaldi se forward kar do. So if you suffer from this kind of a syndrome, that's where all of us have to teach our friends, our family, that don't fall for this kind of information. And the thing is that there are journalists also now who are on platforms where there are no firewalls. For example, if something like this was to happen in my organization or India Today or Hindustan Times or any other, Navbharat Times, any of these, there are firewalls. There are sub-editors, editors who'll go through this and say, check karo, home ministry phone karo, get the information, find out before they put it out. Their Twitter hatches them on YouTube. Nobody will do it because we are trained journalists. We know that इसको cross check करना है. This is something that can cause chaos in society. But then there are others who are Facebook journalists, YouTube journalists, who possibly don't have that rigor of training, and for whom revenue comes with hits. So hits की वजह से एक attractive thumbnail बना दो और ये information डाल दो. And the more hits you get, the more revenue. That's the platform. That's the algorithm of those platforms. So this shift of perspective which is happening as a result of these AI platforms is something which is dangerous, which needs to be watched out, and we need to have guardrails. And this isn't just in India, it's happening worldwide. It happened in the US elections, it's happened in 2024 in UK, riots happened, it happened there. It spreads so quickly that truth can't keep up pace with that. Doctored videos using AI tools, voiceovers done so slickly that you can't tell. The lip movement is done so perfectly. The voice, because there are AI tools. Now, literally, you can take Mohammed Rafi ke 6 gaane jod ke, you can put it on Modi ji's face and it will look like Modi ji is singing Mohammed Rafi ke gaane. Nobody's going to believe Mr. Modi goes and says कि मैंने कभी गाए नहीं मोहम्मद रफ़ी के गाने. कोई believe ही नहीं करेगा because it's done so beautifully. At least my mother doesn't believe. She thinks that Modi ji can sing like Mohammed Rafi. So, but why would I just say that, you know, the age group of my mother, we've all fallen for fake news in some form or the other. So, in some cases, you know, what happens with us journalists is we are live on TV and we watch something happening. Recently, there was a riot which went, you know, like a riot in the sense of police action, which went live on TV. And it looked like the policeman is firing into the crowds at point blank range. Something that the police, they have rigorous training. They don't shoot at point blank range. He was probably pointing at somebody or he was threatening somebody, but that clipped video it got propagated. So it looked like निहत्तों पे वार किया है. It did happen. The police then, after 24 hours or whatever, 36 hours came out with the original video which somebody had videoed. But by then the damage has been done and it's on polling day that this happens. You can do fire control, firefighting in real-time basis, it will be great. But we don't have the tools right now. Agility will be the skill that all of you will need in the future. And this isn't just for journalists. This is for all of you in whichever profession you go. I'm asked many times by people, which channel should we trust? Which newspaper should we read? Which one uses less of fake news, disinformation, misinformation? Who does that so that we can rely on them? So my advice to most people is get a variety. You're lucky, we are lucky, I'm lucky that we're working in an age or we're living in an age where we have so many sources. So for all of you, reduce your confirmation bias, reduce your bias, see the opposite point of view too. So that makes you a balanced individual. Be curious to know the other side. The side that you don't believe in, even what it is their argument. Because the less you think in silos, the more you grow as an individual. Let's go into the AI tools because they are all using artificial intelligence to cross-check. All of us should cross-check. Always do that. Whatever news you get, cross-check using your tools. I'm not going to tell you which tool to use because I'm sure that all of you are tech savvy by now. But there is no ideal because the large language the LLMs are based on social media. They're grabbing their information, combing it from social media, and those have biases. So there's a lot of data which is dumped on these LLMs, and those are 6, 8, 10 years old, and the data that they are combing from, that is not verified. But if you depend on only one to get your answers, let me tell you, you could end up really messing up your essay, your answers, whatever. So how do we make sure that it's not leading us in the wrong path, that our society as a whole is not getting so dependent on these tools that we go on a path which, you know, fragments us. For that, we have to keep increasing the technology, not decreasing it. That's not going to be possible. Technology is harmful in the beginning, whichever generation you talk about. It is harmful. Technology has always been used for wars and then for civilian purposes. So, first thing is that technology is harmful. Grab it. Don't be suspicious of it. Use it for your positive good as much as possible. So, I think in hardcore journalism, which I was doing, there too technology was important. And now all the more so. Without technology, it's just not possible. And without podcasting, it's not possible. All of us are going to get information. Like nobody thought that you're going to get your information with Google's. Same way, everybody is going to get their information from podcasting, from new media. I mean, look at Donald Trump. He went on the Joe Rogan show for 3.5 hours, and there were millions and millions who downloaded that and watched it within hours of it being uploaded. Kamala Harris didn't. I'm not saying she lost because she didn't go on podcasts, but what I'm trying to say is that she's certainly younger than Donald Trump, but he used social media and he used AI way before she did. The same can be said about Mr. Modi. The same can be said about the BJP, which embraced Twitter way before the Congress did. And the Congress they were not ready for it. When Shashi Tharoor of the Congress party was using Twitter, he was laughed at, he was pilloried, and everybody in the Congress party put him down. But he was way before his time. He kept saying, embrace this, because what you're seeing is that the opposition is embracing. Opposition at that time was the BJP. They are embracing it. So take this with you. But no, he in fact tweeted a couple of things because of which, I don't know if that's the reason or not, but he was fired at some point of time. Probably because he was getting through to more people than was convenient to others. What has happened is, I gave you an example of Indian politicians and I gave you examples of American politicians about the law enforcement, about spokespersons. The thing is that the democratization of media has taken place. Let me tell you another example. I've given you these. Let me give you one more example of how technology can be harmful as well as good. Ultrasound machines came to India about 35 or 40 years ago. Your staff might remember it. You may not know this. 35 years ago, it came into this country. And what was it used for initially? For sex determination tests. Female feticides happened in this country because of that technology which was imported into this country. And those who allowed the import to happen had good in their minds. So that you would know if your child has a birth defect and you want to go ahead and bring a child to this world with that defect, or you don't want to bring the child. So termination, if you wanted to do that, or if there is something wrong with the baby, if it's defective, or you want to get, for whatever reason, it was brought into this country. But it was misused for several years to a point where the sex ratio in several states went wonky. There were more male children rather than female children. Female infanticide was happening, feticide was happening, not infanticide, feticide. The fetus was being terminated, LD fetuses were being terminated because it was a girl child. And then there had to be regulation. My point I'm trying to make is that regulation is necessary. Even AI, the CEOs of the big tech companies are going about the world saying, we need regulation. Imagine an industry saying, we need regulation. Pehle nahi hota tha. They used to run away. All industries run away that we don't need regulation. But they realized that this kind of technology is impacting in such a big way. It needs regulation. What we are doing at ANI about artificial intelligence, how we use it and how we regulate it. Copyright infringement is one major issue. At ANI, we believe that our content, for which we put in a lot of effort, it is being scraped by AI platforms unscrupulously. And I don't talk much about it because it's sub judice. It's under the ambit of the Indian law, and hopefully we'll be able to resolve it. AI tools for transcription, what we do is, at ANI, we take sound bites from stories around the world, around the country, And through the Amazon AWS ecosystem and other such big tech companies, in real time, we are able to do transcription. And this is just a recent innovation. पहले नहीं होता था. Transcription was literally impossible. Translation and transcription used to take hours. You needed human intervention. You needed extremely intelligent people. Even today, actually, you need it. It's an imperfect tool that to use. You need human intervention because somebody might say something and it could mean something else because they are using an allegory which an AI tool doesn't understand. Lokoptiya and muhavre, as we say, proverbs. Proverbs is something that its AI tool doesn't figure out, especially when it comes to language models. So they can't understand it. So this is where work needs to be done. AI tool for predictive text. If you remember, there was a time you would write that preemptive text, you'd write half a word and the word gets completed. Now it's literally sentence gets completed, and after the first two sentences, the predictive text will tell you कि आगे आप क्या करना चाहते हैं. The elections which were held this year, the various elections, there were politicians who were literally sitting in the text and saying, I'm going to say random place. Let me just say Jodhpur, Nagrota, anywhere. I'm going there. What are the local issues out there? What should I speak on? Convert this into Marathi. Example. So I have it in whichever language I want. Imagine us as journalists. We are going into nooks and crannies. पहले था research करो, कहाँ जा रहे हो, कैसे कर रहे हो, what is the local issue, this, that, and all. Now what happens is, okay, I'm going to Rajouri. What is it that is bothering? वहाँ पे terrorism है कि नहीं? When was the last terror attack? Who attacked? Which was the terror group that came in? So I have all that information at the back of my hand. When was the terror? This. But if I go into certain details, like did the government do enough or not out there? That's where the bias comes in. That's where the EQ, the emotional intelligence of those platforms are going to give me the bias. In that, suppose I write, is Yasik Malik a terrorist or not? It will come back to you and it will tell you. There are some who say Yasin Malik was a terrorist, but he is still in prison and India's terrorism laws, uska bias. So if you don't use your intelligence and you ask them for this basic information which you should have known, whether Yasin Malik is a terrorist or not as per Indian law, if you don't know that, if you don't know the terror attacks that he's being involved in, and you depend on these morals which are basing their information even on the New York Times, on the Wall Street Journal, on the Washington Post, which come in with their own bias, you're making a mistake there. You are succumbing to that bias of that American Scott, which has gone into the learning model of your ChatGPT or Google or whatever you're using. So, develop your human intelligence, marry it with artificial intelligence, and you have a perfect mix. We all are working, we all are striving for that. When I was talking about how jobs, many people ask me this, that, Arey, ab to artificial intelligence aa gaya, so journalists will lose their jobs. Certain journalists will certainly lose their jobs. जो सबएडिटर बन के बैठे हुए थे या प्रूफ रीडर, if you remember there was a job called proofreaders who would sit and comma, full stop, semicolon ये सब लगाते थे, स्पेलिंग चेक करते थे. अब स्पेल चेक आ गया, उसकी ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. So if you were that and you did upskill, काम खत्म, right? So keep skilling. Something that I need to talk about is that things like Notebook LM, Google, playing around with the Gemini version, these are all acting as second brains. So we have the ability to have a human brain and a second brain. So we should use that. The last point which I want to make is about this race in the West. It's a $1 trillion race, really, to become a digital god. I began by saying that there is no god, but there is a digital god which is going to come about in various avatars. It depends upon us. We, a country which has so many million gods, it's up to us to create our own god. and to have the maximum adoption of principled usage of this, so that it doesn't cause societal disruption. On that note, I'd like to say thank you.